Hello, good morning. Day 2 at the Hannover Fair, and I can tell you, so many people are already around here at that early time. And I have to apologize a little bit. Speaking about early times, we plan to be live at 9:30 sharp Central European, and as we're in Germany, normally that has to be the case. But there were so many things going around, big applause at other booths, and so much noise. So we needed to wait a little longer. Really, there was a concert going on, and we wanted to get the best audio quality possible. And you might consider that going live from a fair is not the easiest way to do. Today, day 2, fully packed of agenda points, and we have some great speakers in here. And it's also what we can present and talk about partnerships, about what Atos is going to do, how the day 1 went, for example. And I think now it's already the time where I can switch into the inner office to Jordan and Marcus. Jordan, Marcus, how are you? How was day 1? What are we expecting for day 2?
Doing great, Friso.
Great to see you.
I hope everybody in the audience is also having a good day today. Friso, you're breaking up sometimes in Command Central where we are right now. So just so you know, every once in a while we can't hear you. But it's okay. We'll keep talking because we've got Marcus here. Yesterday we talked a little with Udo. Today we can talk with Marcus, and Marcus has the advantage of having been here for a full day, getting some excitement for everything that's going around. Marcus, tell us a little bit about what you've seen over the past day.
Yeah, thank you for having me first. I think it's just awesome. We're back. It feels like real life again. You're here at the show, at the fair, and you see a lot of people going around and coming to our booth. You see all those big companies which are on display here. A lot of our partners are here. A lot of our customers are here. So this really feels great to be back in real life again, and we didn't have that for almost 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. And in fact, one of the nice things, talking about partners and people stopping by the booth, we've got somebody from Renault with us this week who's talking about ID at scale, one of the more interesting things that we've started to do. You want to talk a little bit about ID at scale?
Exactly, yeah. First of all, it's really great to have such a huge partner as Renault being on our booth. That's really commitment from my point of view. Yeah. And I think we are, for this topic ID at scale, we are at the right fair, right? Because manufacturing companies all around here, and I think improvement on the shop floor, improving, saving money, making processes smoother and better. I think that's all that the people are looking for, and we see a huge traction on this topic. So I think wisely chosen that we have this one on display here. So really happy that a lot of people coming here.
Yeah, exactly. And that is one of the best things about Hannover Fair. Again, it's thousands and tens of thousands of people showing up throughout the course of the week, talking a lot about, again, all of the things that are important for manufacturing, regardless of whether it's improving efficiency or whether it's trying to better deal with how to do maintenance, all the different sorts of aspects. And in fact, the hall we're in right now, I think, is dedicated to digital platforms. I think you stopped by the Catena X booth the other day, right?
Yeah. Yesterday afternoon, we had the chance to look at a couple of use cases, which they're working on together with Siemens and SAP. So it seems really good what they're doing there, and I think there's a lot of potential that we are working in this group as well as a partner. And I think for the future there might be some of the use cases which will be really a big thing for the market, and therefore it's really interesting to see how such a melting pot created here at this fair, in terms of having manufacturing companies. Of course, most of them are manufacturing, but a lot of IT companies are here, and you see how they are getting really close to each other, and this over the years more and more. So really interesting topics. And I think in regards to the Catena X, especially manufacturing as a service, which we looked at yesterday, so this really sounds promising, and we will work closely with them on that topic as well.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. In fact, we almost had Matthias Böhmer here this morning. Maybe he'll come tomorrow. He's our representative in Catena X. Lots of really interesting stuff going on there. We've also, in fact, later in this show, I hope we still have time, we'll have Lars Nagel from the Industrial Data Spaces Association join us. But I think right now we're going to switch to Friso, and then we're going to come back with another guest from Mandex. So Marcus, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you, Marcus. And I could see it in your face. It's like when you say we are back. Yeah, it's really being back at the fair, being in real life, having that personal conversations again, that partnership conversations, that strong bond hold, like shaking hands. That's a huge difference. really, as you mentioned, thousands of people going around here. That's absolutely the case already at that early time. So wherever you go, there are people. It's very crowded. And what you cannot see in the little bag, we are preparing now the different setting. And yes, we are live, and that's the great thing. And yeah, we're going to have a second guest talking about Mendix. And Mendix, as I understood it, it's very special for me. It's like low code and no code. And for a person that is normally level 1 at doing Scratch, this might be something very special. So, Jordan, as I can see, your guest is already there. I can say, goedemorgen. Het is echt een plezier dat je bij ons bent
I think
vandaag.
you just gave us the handover. The sound kicked out again, but
That's
I'm going to
right.
assume we're on camera and live right now. We can at least see the video. So we've got Jethro Bozga with us right now. He's from Mandex. How about you introduce yourself? And I think most of the people on our show right now or listening to the show know what Mandex is, but we'll have Jethro give his view as an insider.
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Jethro Borsche, and I'm the Chief Ecosystem Solutions Officer at Mandex. My role actually is to work together with partners like Atos strategically to make sure that we help our customers on their digital transformation journey. And for us, it's all about increasing the collaboration between business and IT.
Yeah, exactly. We just talked about Catena X, which is that business ecosystem sort of world. This is one of, sort of an ecosystem discussion that we like to have a lot when talking about low code programming, especially because Mandex does, I think, an excellent job of having connectors that allow you to tie into other sorts of systems that any large manufacturing company has. But also, and we talked about this preparation last night, a little bit about sort of how you can get away from the IT technology, and with low code programming, you can really start to focus on having the discussion about what's the business need for what I'm doing and how do I actually better understand the requirements.
Yeah, exactly. So for us, what we want to achieve actually to make the complex things easy, right? So you can really focus on collaboration with your customer, because I think in the past we also had many big IT projects failing, but what we want to do is it's not failing about technology anymore. It's really about understanding your business properly. So at Mandex, we have purposeful tools specifically built to increase the collaboration between business and IT to really make sure you understand your customer better. And then indeed leverage things like connectors and then the reusable components coming into a composable enterprise, as Gartner calls it, to make it easier to create these types of applications for manufacturers.
Yeah. And in fact, when I worked with low-code programming tools before. I've got a deep, dark past in software engineering, and I was fascinated to find out that Mandex also allows you to push functionality to edge devices. So it's not just a web server where you've got a front end, but it's something that's very specific to the manufacturing world of distributed architectures, understanding where data is being created.
Yeah, exactly, because Mandex is part of Siemens, right? So we are actually about digitizing from HR all the way up onto the shop floor. So we can even run Mandex on edge devices where we can capture data from machines and then actually use it and contextualize the data with, for example, information from an ERP system, and then really be able to have smarter apps, context aware, which can provide you with the right actions at the right time.
Yeah, fantastic. It's really great. Again, one of the interesting things for us also within Atos is that we've got now an international partnership with Mandex, specifically building up the capabilities that are necessary for deploying this sort of stuff at scale. Again, having many experts that are able to exactly have those sorts of discussions and use the tools and understand how it fits into these complex worlds.
Yeah, exactly. This is why the partnership for us is so important, right? Because with Atos, we have a global reach together with Mandex, and that's amazing because our customers are also global. So they expect our partners actually to deliver in all regions of the world with the right level of expertise, and not only technical, but also domain expertise, of course. So it's not only about being very well at the technical things, it's also about understanding the specific domains in which you're actually working.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. That's really good. And in fact, maybe I think I see our next guest popping into the side of my vision over here. So I think you need to go back to the Siemens stand.
Definitely.
So Jethro's on a short leash today. He's a very busy man. But again, thank you very much. Maybe worth mentioning just one last thing. We've got an interesting meeting tonight here with Business France. We'll be having a sort of a celebration of the past 10 years where the Siemens Alliance, Atos, Siemens working together is being celebrated. Mandex is one of the stars of the show. So we're looking forward to that again, taking advantage of the booth, taking advantage of Hannover Fair. And again, thanks for stopping by, and I will personally see you this evening.
For sure. See you this evening, and thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Friso, the floor is yours.
Thank you again. And I just switched cameras because I was standing in front of the logo, which is nice, but you should see that we're live. So right now the booth is filling up. We're already at the presenting of quality inspection, for example, which we also have with one of our partners. We have decarbonization right here. So talking about the proto-carbon footprint, especially in chemical parts, like the joint project we have done. Scope 1, 2, 3, one of the most discussion points we had in the couple of the last times. We're also featuring the Atos art exhibition. And I can tell you something, yesterday in the evening, people started to paint here and we loved it. And the discussion sparked ahead like we knew from the Atos art exhibition. Well, just to spoil it, the next one's going to be in London already next week. So if you want to be there, it's absolutely fine. And I can see the setting is going around. I hope you can see me. Jordan, just in fact, you not getting the audio, I'm giving you a visual signal right away because you're already live, and I would like to welcome our new guest, Jordan. I think Klaus is with you and Lars is with you. Hi, good morning, everyone, from outer space to inner space.
So, hi everybody. So we've got new guests. You probably noticed. So I've got a microphone. I'm all set. Good. So Lars has just showed up. Lars Nagel from IDSA, and we've got Klaus Otradovic, experts for Gaia X, data platforms, ecosystems, the whole bit. So we're going to have a little bit of a different discussion now because there's been quite a few announcements going on at IDSA. I think today at 2 o'clock, there's going to be some interesting announcements. Absolutely. So how about you and Klaus tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, well, we love to do so, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, so, well, both of us have been with Gaia X and this whole idea of federated data infrastructures or ecosystems since, well, 3 years right now. But we are with this idea even longer. So the idea of data spaces is with us since, 7 years now. And now we are at the historic moment to really get things going, to bring things to life. And that is what we announce here from International Data Spaces Association on Hannover Fair. We will launch the IDSA certification scheme so that we can not only talk about reference architectures or all this paperwork, but we can really make the proof that a component is built trustworthy, and we can, well, attest this and prove it to the outside so that if you want to share data in a trustworthy manner, attach usage constraints to it. So contracts, for example, how to use your data, who is allowed to do something. Then you can state to the outside, okay, I've built it according to very clear criteria, and you can rely that the software is fine and that my organization knows how to run it. So this is one of the major things which we'll launch today.
Yeah, excellent. That's fantastic, because especially for manufacturing companies, being able to understand what is being done with their data, they'd like to take advantage of being able to monetize it, have it used across an ecosystem to gain efficiencies, whatever their business model happens to be. But then you need exactly those sorts of certification models for them to trust the infrastructure, for them to trust the applications that are going. Fantastic. Absolutely great. Klaus?
Actually, not only the certification models, I think what we also see, and it's also going to be at 2 o'clock, is at the IDSA booth, you have the Datenraummobilität, which will actually really start productive services early next year with a productive phase, going with a certification, going with a setup, all the services in H2 in a professional setup. I understand Lars has been with Catena yesterday, doing the very, very same thing in the automotive supply chain, which is also expecting a real go-live date with Betreiberdienst operating services by the end of the year. So it's one step, the certification Lars talked about, the reference architecture model, which takes a lot of input from real implementations of version 4.0 towards really I would say, the main turning point, really getting large scale, productive data spaces up and running. Well, I would almost say by the end of this year, because that's where it's ultimately going to start.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what we are all looking for. We are talking about data spaces and the cool thing, which they are since some years. We all know about the data economy, but at the end, well, data economy can only flourish if we have a lot of data available. Only with that in place, we can really benefit from all the nice AI algorithms and all what we need. And therefore, well, we need to take informed decisions. Should I enter a data space? Should I, well, provide my valuable data set or not? And that is what we have to overcome. Therefore, we have to build in trust from a technological point, from the certification. So that is what. So and we need companies who can do that, because, well, we are a non-profit organization. We can only, well, find consensus and set up the standard. We need companies like Atos and others who run these data spaces, and that is exactly the next step which we will see this year with mobility data space, with Catena, but also there are others. Smart Connected Supplier Network in the Netherlands, very impressive project. This has already been linked with a data space in Japan with Catena X, and then we can really see what could be the benefit of interconnected data space, so really large ecosystems of data. On 2nd of June, we will launch the Buy Data initiative in Spain, the next big thing. And what we want to make sure, we have to bring all the operators, all the technology companies and the implementation partners in place to really to build these data spaces and to let them flourish. And therefore, I'm happy to be here with Atos and the colleagues which are with us from, well, the very beginning. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, one point I'd like to add, one thing that has also been celebrated yesterday with a specific DSBA cookie, so Data Spaces Business Alliance, is that Lars and I were also working very, very closely with Gaia X, which is not only focusing on the data exchange, but on building, I call it ecosystem essentials and the support for the basic trust services. Well, IDSA obviously for everything related to sovereign data spaces. Fireware, which is looking at specific models, which is looking at APIs to actually make all these applications on top of the infrastructure and data stacks work, and ultimately BDVA, which is looking at analytical models, really create the value out of the data. So I honestly believe it's a good time here at Hannover Messe for IDSA, a lot of important announcements, and we're happy to be part of that journey.
Yeah, exactly. And that's definitely one of the nice things about all the work that's going on right now. Lars, you mentioned sort of at scale, the idea that you're trying to integrate between these different spaces, and that cooperation between IDSA, BDVA, Gaia X, Fireware. It's just an excellent way of making sure that you decrease the overall complexity, and you can really focus again on what's the benefits that I've got from using the applications or the data that's there, and making sure that you decrease complexity, decrease barriers to adoption. It's just a fantastic way, I think, of really seeing how this year is transitioning and really going into full-scale deployment. Excellent. All right, great. Lars, thank you very much. Klaus, thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
I think we're going back to you.
That's right. Thank you so much. And it's great. We're hearing about announcements. New things are coming out. Deals are being closed. And yes, I was just like trying to find somebody else who
we're
passed
still on
by.
camera.
But yeah, I need to take a hat, because when I came with the big mic, that person didn't want to show up. I'm going to make sure that this person might also be one of the parts. We'll be going later on live today. So we're going to have another live session. We're going about showcase and the use case. We're going to talk with Stefan Zimmermann, absolutely expert in remote field worker. And we're going to see some other things. And I need to chase Pierre because I want to see that quality inspection demo. We're going to make that happen live here for you, all of you. It's great. If you have any question, what you want to see live here from the Atos booth, if you are looking out for a special partner for another interview, just reach out to us. We're so happy that we are here. If you want to visit us at the booth, just feel free to drop by, buy a coffee. Just an information, if you come 9:30 tomorrow, you might be part of the Atos Central European Breakfast TV live from the Hannover Fair. In the meantime, I would say enjoy your day. If you want to come by, I'm happy to welcome you. Otherwise, have a great day. See you at the Hannover Fair or in our next LinkedIn Live here, the Atos channel.